Here are important vocabulary words that you need to know in order to go through with this lesson on area and perimeter. The first vocabulary word is area. This is the number of square units needed to cover a flat surface. Then we have base. This is any side of a 2D figure. 2D means two-dimensional. We know that 2D figures are those flat shapes, like a square, a circle, a triangle, shapes like that. Formula, a set of symbols that expresses a mathematical rule. Height, the measure of a perpendicular from the base to the top of a 2D figure. Also remember that perpendicular means two line segments or two sides that form right angles. Perimeter, this is the distance around a figure. And square unit, a unit of area with dimensions of 1 unit by 1 unit. This would be a really good place for you to pause the video. Let's start with perimeter. So Jax is putting a fence around his rectangular yard. The length of the yard is 22 feet. The width of the yard is 15 feet. How many feet of fence does Jax need? Jax needs to find the perimeter of his yard. Remember that perimeter is the distance around a shape. When we find perimeter, we use addition. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is length plus width plus length plus width. You're simply adding up all of these sides. In order to find the perimeter of Jax's yard, we will add up all of the sides. But what about those unknown sides? So we see 22 feet up at the top, and at the bottom, we have a question mark. To the right, we see 15 feet, and then to the left, we see 15 feet, and to the right, we don't see anything. We see a question mark. So, since the shape is a rectangle, we know that there are two pairs of parallel sides. Because of this, the lengths, the top and the bottom, are both going to be 22 feet, and the widths, the left and the right, are both going to be 15 feet. Now that we know our length and our widths, let's see what we need to do about finding this perimeter. So we're going to add all of these sides, 22 plus 15 plus 22 plus 15. And when you do that, you get a perimeter of 74 feet. So therefore, he's going to need 74 feet of fence. Area. We found out that the perimeter of Jax's yard was 74 feet, so he could put in a fence. Now Jax wants to put a pool in his yard. In order to do this, he needs to know how big his yard is so that he can put in the right size pool without it taking up too much room. For this, he will need to find the area of his yard by using the formula base times height, or B times H. Remember that area is the number of square units needed to cover a flat surface. The base of something is the sides, and the height is the measure from the base to the top. In order to find the area of Jax's yard, we will multiply the base times the height, or the length times the width. This time, we will not have 4 numbers to work with, just 2. So here are those original measures, 22 feet and 15 feet. So we're going to multiply those 2 numbers together. We can multiply this using any strategy we want to, but let's use the partial product or the box method. So the way that we need to do this box method, up at the top, why do I have a 20 and a 2? What I did was I broke 22 up in its expanded form to give me 20 and 2. Then on the left side, I broke 15 up into its expanded form, 10 and 5. When I do this, I need to multiply a top number by a side number each time and fill in that partial product that I get into one of the little boxes. So the first thing that we're going to do, we need to multiply that 20 times 10. When you do that, you get 200. Then multiply 10 times 2 to get 20. Then 20 times 5, which will give you 100. And then 5 times 2 will give you 10. The next thing you need to do is add up all of those numbers together. When we do that, the area of Jax's yard is 330 square feet.